What's going on, guys? Rex the Rebel here. The coronavirus has shut down society pretty much. All stores are pretty much closed. You can't even sit down at tables outside of gas stations to eat, which is good for somebody like me who doesn't have a place where I can cook or anything. And so I don't know what we're going to do. Very, very unsettling, very disturbing. Um, no one cares about homeless people in this situation. There's not really going to be anything done despite all this. Homeless people, what are they supposed to do? They can't go home and self quarantine. They don't have a home. What are they going to do? But one of the things I think is funny is that politicians are incorporating things that people have been screaming for years, myself included, such as things like UBI. Now, of course, their version is not going to be monthly and a permanent thing. It's just going to either be a one-time or a two-time thing. But all of this nonsense about hating government intervention in the economy and hating socialism, guess what y'all are doing? Y'all are screaming for pseudo-socialist and actual socialist policies to take place in order to clean up the messes of capitalism. That's what's happening. Our society was not prepared for this at all. And a lot of it was because of capitalism. Profit over people. And look where we are. Fuck. Look where we are. We're demanding that the government bail us out and do all of these things. And who does the government bail out first? All these large corporations. They spend total 2.7 trillion trying to bail out all these large corporations, trying to save the stock market. What happens? Nothing. It doesn't even save it for a day. None of it worked. That 2.7 trillion, no one's asking, how are you going to pay for it? No one asked. No one has asked. And I don't know why. Well, I do know why. They're corrupt and they don't care. But all these people who've been asking for UBI and for Medicare for all, everyone always says, how are you going to pay for it? They claimed that UBI would cost about 3.5 trillion a year. Well, what did they just do? They spent 2/3 of that in a week, in less than a week. So I don't know. I just, nobody cares, man. These people are so stupid. Trump had this ad that came on. I was watching a Jimmy Dore video, and Trump had this ad, and it was supposed to be like a socialism poll, where you go to the link, and it's his official, like, Donald Trump polling site, and they ask you questions. And some of the questions are, do you support a thriving capitalist economy or a radical socialist one? And I was like, a radical socialist one. I strongly advocate for that more so than a thriving capitalist economy that doesn't exist. But the thing with those ads and those polls that he has is they're not true to what people actually believe. Because one, you have to give your email and subscribe to his email subscription. You have to donate a certain amount of money in order to turn it in. And they need a whole bunch of personal information about you that I'm not willing to give because, one, I don't need the government knowing any more of my personal information. And two, I don't support Trump. But that's what's wrong with those polls. All those polls where he says 90%, even more than 90% support me based off of polls. Well, of course, because your polls are strictly garnered towards your supporters who are going to donate to you anyway. So it's a scam, guys. All these stupid ads that you see where he's like, take the Trump poll. It's like, but you know that the only people who are going to take that poll and who are willing to submit it are going to be Trump supporters. And that's what happens when you take the poll. And I took it, and I couldn't send it, so he's not going to know my opinion. He's not going to know my opinion now because I guarantee he doesn't watch my videos. But I'm going to let the world know my opinion, which is, yes, Trump, I support a radical socialist economy over a thriving, quote-unquote, capitalist economy. Because there ain't nothing thriving about this economy. Even before the coronavirus happened, 78% of Americans living between $30,000 or less. That's not a thriving economy. When 56% of the country or more can't afford a $500 emergency payment. I think it was $400 emergency payment. That's not a thriving economy. When people are having to constantly go to loan shark businesses in order to just live, just to be able to pay for their food, and then now they're in debt, which they have to pay to these fucking loan sharks, that's not a healthy economy either. None of those are signs of a healthy economy. But now that all these people are losing their jobs, and what about the people who are self-employed? What are they going to do through all this? The people who have small businesses, you know, they were told they were going to get a low-interest loan. Did the banks get a low-interest loan? No, they just got free money. Trillions of free money. But nope, you're a small business and you're struggling and you're probably not even open because the government's told you can't be open. And so now you're being told, oh, well, we'll give you a low-interest loan. A low-interest loan. Okay, well, thank you for putting me even more in debt. Thanks. And then Nanci Pelosi is stopping the only few good things that Trump is actually, and the Republicans are actually trying to do, which is give cash payments to people. Now, that's not going to come till April 6th, so until the meantime. And who is that going to go towards as well? Is it going to go to all people making less than $100,000? Because that's what I was reading. It seems very confusing as to who's actually going to get this. Is it going to be workers? Is it going to be contracting job type workers? Is it going to be self-employed businesses, individuals who make less than 100,000 who have been impacted by this? What about rideshare people? What about Uber Eats and all them? What's going to happen to them? Are they going to receive this $1,000 a month? Which, it's going to be two $1,000 payments. Bernie Sanders is proposing $2,000. I don't know if he's doing it in two payments, but and then Kamala Harris said, she was like, we'll give him $500 a month, and it's not even going to be everybody. I'm just like, why are you even talking when people have already expressed more than you? You're lowballing. Why even say anything? I just don't get it. But nobody likes Kamala Harris, so, who cares? But the one thing that I thought was funny on the Trump poll that I tried to do was it was talking about the Democrats were for open borders. Yes, the Democrats are for open borders. That's how they get their constituents. They want all these people to vote for them. And if they make all these illegal immigrants legal, then those illegal immigrants are going to vote for them, and then they're going to have an even larger voter base. So yes, of course they're for open borders. Now, of course, there's a lot of right-leaning people, mostly libertarians, who are supportive of that too, because that makes them money. Who in the economy benefits from illegal immigrants? Companies, because that's cheap labor. Who hurts? Workers. As somebody who supports workers, I don't support illegal immigration. So I agree with them on that. I'm not going to support a socialist economy and then also support lax immigration laws. I'm just not. So when AOC talks about getting rid of ICE, I don't support that. I've had run-ins with ICE, and I'm a white guy, and I'm a citizen. So I'm not a fan of them, but I'm also not a fan of completely getting rid of them. But I'm also not a fan of allowing all of these people the same privileges that United States citizens barely even have and don't have. But yes, Donald, I do want a radical socialist economy. The problem is, the people who are supposed to do it aren't. And you know who is? You! You, my friend, you and all of your Republican buddies are right now supporting left-wing and socialist-esque policies. You are, and you can't deny it. I mean, you are going to deny it, but you are. And that's always what happens. We ask for all these socialist programs to be able to bail out capitalism when it fails and to help everybody like it should have been doing in the first place before this even happened and after this thing ends. Anyway, peace out. Please like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next video.